Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soren Review. It's been a while, but we are back with my new review series, similar to that of Eric E. Steps. We're gonna take on this channel a more route on talking about NASCAR itself, news, and other stuff, along with keeping along with the diecast trend as well. But the LA Clash happened not too long ago. As of the time this video is coming out, it probably ended, I think, about 3 hours ago. So this race was very, very interesting. I think it went very well. First off, a lot of build-up, right? Saturday practice and qualifying, and then today before the actual main event consisted of the four qualifying heats and the LCQs, especially the second LCQ, in which it was very eventful. And then we had the 150 lap main event. It included the halftime show. Lots to talk about. I mainly want to focus on the LCQ on the main event, but let's talk about the qualifying races. They went very well. Basically, who you thought expected made it through. Then it came down to the LCQs. The first one went very well, I'll say. And between the LCQs, Martin Truex Jr., who was starting last in the second one, if I'm not mistaken, or not last, but very near midfield in the second one, decided to opt out and go with the provisional points. Uh, guess voucher would be a word to use. He decided to use the right that he had in finishing second in points last year to automatically qualify in. Was a good choice. The second LCQ ended up causing I think the first caution, or some of the first cautions. The first caution came out in the fourth heat, but the second LCQ had over five cautions, the most out of any, I think, event, or close to as many as the main event. It was very chaotic, lots of young drivers, Ty Dillon, Harrison Burton, Austin Cindric, Bubba Wallace, all bumping and banging and creating lots of mayhem. In the end, the top three finishers were Ty Dillon, Ryan Preece, and Bubba Wallace. However, Ty Dillon, for the second time in that LCQ, jumped the restart. He was disqualified, and that allowed Harrison Burton to make his way into the main show. So, with that, we had field of 23 cars. The notables that did not make it: Kurt Busch, Alex Bowman, Brad Keselowski, all did not make it. I would say are probably the biggest drivers that missed the field, maybe Ross Chastain as well, along with others. So we had our 23 car field set, 150 laps, and it went very well. I thought the atmosphere was great throughout the whole event. It was very packed. It seemed like people were very influenced. I didn't see much of the pre-show with Pitbull, but I hear it went very well. I hear driver introductions were pretty interesting. I hear just the whole event as a whole went very well, which is amazing to hear. I'll give NASCAR their credit. This event was far better than I think anyone expected it to be. Would I like to see this in the future? I'm not sure. I think this is a definitely an interesting event with a lot of the extra stuff like the halftime show, basically any of the non-racing stuff I do not want to see in other events. I thought it was cool though for an exhibition race type event we saw today. However, it was just a pretty good race, very nice to just kind of see how this car performs. I have comments about how this car performs, but just to kick us off into this new era of NASCAR that I feel we saw today. Do I want to see it return? Not sure. But let's get into the actual event. It was 150 laps. It went pretty well until our first caution of the day, in which rookie Stenhouse Jr. got churned by Harrison Burton. However, under that caution, Denny Hamlin had a power issue, power steering issue. He was out of the race very early, which was very unfortunate to see. Under that same caution, Chase Briscoe and Tyler Reddick both had mechanical failures. I think for Tyler Reddick was a transaxle issue, and for Chase Briscoe, again another similar with the drive train. It was too bad because Tyler Reddick led 51 of the 53 initial laps. So Tyler Reddick was definitely one of the fastest cars today. Just couldn't capitalize. We only had 3 leaders this whole race: Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano. They were all very fast. Justin Haley, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Austin Dillon, all some of the fastest cars. We'll get to that though. On lap 75, Ryan Preece was out due to I think he had a brake issue. Uh, they listed it. NASCAR listed it as an oil pressure issue. Some other cautions as well, some spins. On lap one, around lap 116, Justin Haley was running in the top 5. He got bumped into Larson by William Byron. Larson thought that was Haley's fault, and Haley got churned into the on the front stretch into the inside wall. That ended Justin Haley's day. We really didn't see many other big incidents. Chase Elliott spun out at one point. He ended up recovering to an 11th place finish. I can't really recall any other major incidents. Ryan Blaney did have some problems as well. He finishes 17th. I think they had a mechanical failure. Came back later on in the race, actually, where they finished ahead of Bubba Wallace, who was not one of the faster cars during the clash. Let's talk about your finishing results in the end of the race, though. With about 20 laps to go, it was mainly Joey Logano, Kyle Busch. Logano pulled away from Busch. Kyle was within a second, but just really couldn't capitalize, and lap traffic just wasn't there at the end. So Joey Logano gets his second Clash win. His other win was in 2017. Kyle Busch second. Arguably, I think Kyle Busch was the fastest car. Just got beat late in the going. Austin Dillon has a very surprising top 5. Looked pretty good in practice and throughout his qualifying race. So great job from that 3 team. We'll see how he does later on in the season. Eric Jones as well, very nice. And Kyle Larson rounding out the top 5. Others, Byron, Custer, Bell, Allmendinger, and Harvick rounding out the top 10. A total of 5 DNFs. I want to talk about 2 things, mainly about the next-gen car. The first one, we obviously saw the kinks and the mechanical issues that we are expecting to see within this next gen car. Of course, not everything's worked out yet, and we saw that today. Lots of mechanical failures, just lots of little things that just need to be tweaked for these teams. And I don't think it was really the next gen car as a whole, but more the things that these teams are trying to do and the way they're building their cars. They're trying to learn how these cars are worked, and I think that's promising. That you know it went much better than I expected. I thought we were going to have at least 10 mechanical failures throughout the weekend, and we really didn't. So that's promising. The car also wrecked very well, despite it being. We had some hard hits, especially in the concrete wall. Justin Haley, Eric Almirola crashed in his LCQ. The car looked like it held up pretty well for the most part. It held up like a composite body would, so that looks good as well. The final thing, everyone was competitive. It really looked like drivers that could get a hang of the track did well. It didn't look like any team, and I say team in a whole organization. It didn't look like the Hendrick cars were all very fast. It didn't look like the JGR cars had an advantage. I mean, we saw Rick Ware Racing running up next to JGR, running faster than JGR cars, and Front Row Motorsports outrunning, fast teams, right? And that was very promising. It looked like everyone really had the pace. I would say the only driver or only team that didn't look like it had the pace was Lift Fast Motorsports with BJ McLeod. However, that was to be expected as Lift Fast Motorsports got the least amount of testing of any team. However, all of the teams look very competitive, and that's very promising for this new season. Of course, we're going to see teams start to gain advantages, but everyone was fast, and that was really fun to see. We saw guys up front that we normally wouldn't see, and it was a nice change of pace, really. It was really unpredictable for the end. So let's give it a rating. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I wish this race was longer. I wish it was 200 or 250 laps. I think we could have seen a lot more action. I feel also that this race just would have been, it just felt very quick. It was only 57 minutes, and that was with caution breaks. So it was very quick, you know, but we got action all weekend throughout the LCQs and the qualifying races, practice qualifying. So I will say it was just a very nice weekend overall. Looked like the atmosphere is great. Looked like NASCAR did very well, did exactly what it wanted to do. I'm happy about how this race turned out. I don't know if I want them to return. We'll see. I would like to. My biggest choice is to have alternating clashes in which it's like Daytona one year, a different place, Daytona, different place, Daytona, different place, kind of just shake it up. But we'll see. I enjoyed it though. Daytona 500 next week. However, coverage for the Daytona 500 will be starting on Tuesday after that first practice session. The Soren review here at Soren Review, we are going to try. I'm going to try and update you guys with all that is to be known about this Daytona 500 Speed Weeks. I'll also keep you updated with NASCAR news as well. Remember, you can use code SOREN72 to get free shipping on all orders, $20 or more when you order from Circle B Diecast. That's code SOREN72. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I hope you stay around for the NASCAR season here on Soren Review. Subscribe if you want to, but thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.